All right, guys, what's going on? David over here at InvestQ, and we do have a pretty interesting day today. So, as you know, and what I've been talking about consistently on this channel is that we have the SOFI annual shareholder meeting coming up today at 10 o'clock a.m. And the meeting is going to begin at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, EST. And throughout today's stream, what we're going to be discussing is what investors should be watching for, management confidence, the lending business, interest rates, the technology platform, and any update that could impact the stock moving forward. And we're also going to be discussing how the new chairman of the board for the Fed is having his first ever press conference today, as it does state here in the Forex Factory at 1:30 p.m., and how his decision regarding interest rates could affect SoFi. And if you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button, and also feel free to comment below anything that you want to see in future upcoming videos. And again, click the quick disclaimer, I will not be rebroadcasting the live stream. I don't want to breach any terms I don't want to breach their terms and services agreements, as I did not get authorization to cover it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's no backlash with it, but I'm just acting with a little bit of caution. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a brief analysis on what it is I'm going to be looking out for, what you should be looking out for, and I will later on tonight be doing a video recap talking about SoFi. Now, first, let's look at the broader market just really quick. So first off, in the pre-market, we do see here that the S&P 500s are little changed. The highlight is as oil ticks higher, and traders are anxiously awaiting to see what the new chairman of the Fed, Kev Warsh, decision will be regarding interest rates. Now, let's just take a quick look at some of the ETFs. So first off, the S&P 500 is up very slightly, as well as the NASDAQ. It's up a little more, with up 0.5%. Oil is up 1%, and bonds are also up on the day as well in the pre-market session. And let's take a quick look at SoFi. Again, shout out to Claude and the Prophecy AI app, giving it a bullish one-year projection, price target of $21.60. And currently we're trading in the pre-market at $18, as we see right here. Well, currently, actually, no, I'm sorry. We're at 17. It does appear we're at, what is it? $17.98. So correct. We're basically at 18 bucks. Now, what I want to be talking about is all these factors, especially considering with the news regarding inflation coming out today and the press conference that's going to be happening at 1:30 p.m. will affect SoFi, especially regarding borrowing costs. Because as you know, interest rates can affect whether if it's more expensive and more doable for companies to borrow money rather than if it's more difficult, if that makes sense. Now, these topics, they matter for SoFi because SoFi is highly sensitive to consumer lending trends, economic growth, and interest rates. Now, real quick, let's take a quick look at the headline right here on CNBC. As you see here, and I've talked about it already, you see it on Forex Factory, the FOMC press conference that will be taking place, and they also have the FOMC statement, along with FOMC economic projections and the federal funds rate. So today is a pretty important day regarding that. And again, as you know, it's no longer Jerome Powell. It's this new guy right here, Kev Warsh. Now, investors and traders are anxiously awaiting to see what his decision is. And the fact of the matter is, while today's shareholder meeting is focused on SoFi, the Federal Reserve's interest rate decisions could have a significant impact on the company moving forward. And what investors are going to be watching specifically in the FOMC press conference that's going on today, 1:30 p.m. EST, they're going to be looking to see what the interest rate decision is. Obviously, that's the most important thing that people will be looking at. Future rate cut expectations, comments regarding inflation, labor market commentary as well. And finally, most likely what they'll be looking at is regarding the economic growth outlook. Now, why this matters specifically for SoFi stock is because it could potentially benefit from lower rates, because there would be, at that point there would be lower borrowing costs, which would help them get more members and improve and increase their record membership that they've had. As you do know, if you do a quick look, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining the chat, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, my guy. So yeah, and real quick, if you take a look at the, like I was saying, SoFi record memberships, just do a quick Google search. It was stated in the previous quarterly report that they hit a milestone of 14.7 million members. And I think that's an increase of about 1.4 million, I believe so, from the previous quarter to the current one that just happened. Now, so lower borrowing costs would help increase their memberships and be able to bring more people on, as their services would be more available for more people. There would also be increased loan demand, more refinancing activity, improved consumer sentiment, and potentially stronger housing activity. Now, the potential risks that would happen if the decision that Kev Warsh makes would be if he decides to have rates be high and inflation data comes in hotter than expected, that could affect SoFi in a negative way, and it could make things a little bit more difficult for the business. So what would happen, and the risks associated with higher rates would be slower loan growth, higher funding costs, pressure on consumer spending, and more cautious borrowers, which would be more difficult for SoFi to be able to convert more interested people as new members to add to their record growth of members that they have right now. Again, that number is at 14.7 million members right now. Now, one key point, and one of the biggest questions that SoFi investors would be asking is, over the next several quarters, how quickly interest rates move lower, and whether management can continue growing the business regardless of the rate environment. So that's a question investors should be asking. Now, since we talked a lot about how the 1:30 p.m. EST FOMC press conference and interest rates and the decision that Kev Warsh makes can affect SoFi, let's actually talk about the business SoFi alone. Let's solely look at SoFi stock. So SoFi, again, currently trading in the pre-market session at $17.97. And a quick overview of SoFi. Let me see. Oh, let me just check this one. So a quick overview regarding SoFi. Let's just take a quick look at the multi-model. You'll see here that, well, and also if you just do a quick Google search as well, but you got a lot of information regarding recent company news. You can look at their quarterly, how they've grown from assets and liabilities, and you can also check with the income statement how revenue is doing and what their net income is at the moment, whether they're profitable, not profitable, all those questions. I highly recommend you check out the Prophecy AI app and take a quick look below if you are interested in dipping your toes in the water to try that 7-day, $7 trial. If you are interested, no pressure. But a quick overview regarding the SoFi. As you do know, SoFi is a bank, and they deal heavily with and they're doing their best to diversify to not just only having to deal with loans. They're also trying to do more as well. They are heavily involved with personal loans, student loans, and home loans. And the questions that you should be asking: is the demand for SoFi stock is it growing stronger, or is it diminishing? And due to the information that we have right here, with how there are increased memberships, and increased amount of people using the SoFi app, I guess that kind of answers the question that there's a stronger demand for SoFi. And regarding their financial services, regarding membership growth. In fact, just doing a quick overview with SoFi Financial Services. Again, you could just do your own research regarding SoFi. You can look at it all. So, a quick overview of everything they do. So, banking provides high yield checking and savings account, cash management, and debit cards. They offer student loan refinancing, private student loans, and personal loans up to $100,000 and mortgage home equity loans. Now, another thing that has become more of a topic is in regarding to investing in crypto, as they include a mobile first trading platform for stocks, ETFs, fractional shares, options, and various various cryptocurrencies. And also regarding financial management, tools like SoFi Relay allow users to track all of their financial accounts, credit scores, and spending habits in one place. So the beauty about SoFi and the company is they are a bank, but they're very diverse in all of the services that they offer, and they're very convenient as it's all on the touch of your phone. If you just do a quick look and you download the SoFi app and see if it does appear that it's fitting well for most members and more people that want to apply to use the app. But without going on too much of a tangent, we do see here, without going on too much of a rant, let's just check the quick price action right now. And we do see here that we are dipping down on the day. Currently the price is at $17.80. And yeah, so we are currently not too bullish right now. So I do see that. Okay. Now, another section regarding SoFi stock. It was a big point of contention in the previous quarterly report, and that is regarding their technology platforms. So, there's a few things to talk when it comes to that. So, first off, there's a few things such as SoFi Tech Solutions with Galileo. It is a cloud-based platform that provides APIs for payment processing, card issuing, account setup, and fraud management. And then you got the two other ones, excuse me, such as Technisys, and there's also enterprise growth opportunities associated with the technology platform. So those are all things to take into consideration with SoFi. And today, in the annual shareholder meeting that will be happening today at 10 o'clock a.m., the biggest things that I'm personally going to be paying attention to is regarding management confidence, because I want to see how they feel about the outlook for the upcoming quarters and the upcoming months and years for SoFi. What do they feel, and do they believe they're going to execute on what they say they can? If Anthony Noto is speaking today, because speaking of Anthony Noto and speaking about confidence within management, one thing that people love to see is they love to see when a CEO of a company is buying shares of its own company. And it does appear here that So it does appear here that he did buy another 13,888 shares at $18.57. So again, that is a good sign of confidence from the CEO, and people do love seeing when a CEO buys shares of their own company. Now, not only do we want to see the CEO buying shares, but if he's presenting at the annual shareholder meeting, or whoever else would be during the annual shareholder meeting, we want to know how optimistic and confident they sound when they speak. And for the next thing regarding the future outlook, will be watching out to see how they talk about and what they say regarding lending growth, membership growth, which they already have record membership growth right now, product growth, and the long-term strategy that they have for SoFi. And regarding technology platform commentary, I want to hear about discussions regarding new customers, partnerships, growth initiatives, and the Galileo and Technisys developments. And finally, which we won't fully know yet until the FOMC press conference that's happening at 1:30 p.m. But I am interested to hear if they do address the press conference that will be happening later today. I want to know if they're going to address things regarding rate cuts, impact on loan demand, and what it is. If they're just, I just want to know exactly if they address at all that the FOMC press conference is happening today. That's all I want to know, if they address it or talk about it in any way, shape, or form. And if they're worried or if they're anxious on the decision, or if they're confident that the company will do good regardless of if rates remain high or if they drop lower. So, and I will also be in tune. I will be tuning in. I won't be live streaming, but I will be listening to the FOMC press conference to hear the decision from the new Fed chair of the board, Kevin Warsh. And the last thing that I will be listening to will be regarding share buy. It will be regarding capital allocation, how they discuss it, and I'll be listening for if they mention anything regarding share buybacks, investments, acquisitions, balance sheet commentary, and capital deployment strategies. Those will all be things I'll be paying attention to. Now, unfortunately, I do gotta go, guys. This was a very short live stream, but I thank you all for tuning in, and I do hope the very best for all of you. Stay safe. Look out for that SOFI video I'll be posting out later today, and I'll see you all in the next video.